Welcome back, everybody. We are going to talk about what sold at the end part of September. It has been a complete whirlwind. Things have been crazy. Okay, so first things first, talking about things just being crazy. I'm expecting my first grandbaby. I'm so excited. And so we have just been playing like touch and go with our daughter who's expecting, and we just expect any day for her to call us and tell us that we have a new grandbaby. We have a lot to talk about, so we're just going to jump right into it. All right, so these are going to be the sales from September 15th through the 28th, and I'm just going to kind of go really quick. I'll make sure that I am posting pictures along with them, so pay attention, y'all. It's going to be a quick ride. Picked up this igloo. It is a vintage igloo. Picked it up at the bins, and as you know, bins is done by weight, so according to that, I'm going to say we paid probably about $5 for this igloo, and it sold for $79.95. Next is going to be this anime short sleeve button down shirt. Picked that up at the local Goodwill for $5.99. It sold for $30. Then we picked up this little Coke tee. Picked it up for $2.95. It sold for $17.95. And through this video, we're just going to touch on some of the more unique items that sold for us. I'm not going to go through every single item because it would just make the video way too long. And you know, you guys, I know y'all just want the highlights, right? I got you. Okay, so next we have the Betty and Veronica comic. Got this comic for free, and it sold for $11. All of the comics that I'm going to talk about in this video were obtained for free, and if you're interested in how I obtained them for free, check in the description. I am going to link a video. Then we have Journey into the Mystery. It is a Thor comic book from 1964. Got it for free, sold for $32. Then we picked up this Michael Kors jacket at Goodwill for $6.99. It sold for $40. Then when we had gone picking to this man's estate sale, it was a private event. He let us come early, and we picked up the Slim Shady action figure. We paid, I'm gonna guess, about $10 for it, and it sold for $150. Then we picked up this cow pasture bank. It is from Rio Vista, Texas. It is a collector's item from, I guess at the time it was the only airport bank where you could fly in to into this like cow pasture where there's cows everywhere, and you could walk up to the bank and make your deposit and then hop back in your plane and leave. And anyway, so picked that up, got it actually for free. It was from a whole lot that my mom had picked up in Texas, and got that for free, and that hat sold for $45. Next, we have these Eco Oxfords. I had talked about them in a previous video, picked them up for $6.99. They sold for $69.95. Then we have the Maps of Tolkien, which is The Hobbit. They were maps that came out of this particular book that you had to have bought this book series in order to get these maps. They were very rare. They're hard to find. Picked those up at the local Goodwill, paid $5.99 a piece for them. So I'm $18 in. Those sold for $125.95. Then we have this carved bear. It's a Russian Bałgowski. I know I'm not saying that right, but I think that's what it is. Anyway, picked it up, had this little bear, and it was a little bear. Had it for, I want to say, about 9 months now. Picked it up for $2.99, and it sold for $99.95. So not bad waiting on that one. I almost gave up on it a couple of times and got rid of it, and I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm glad I just let it sit because we ended up getting what we wanted for it. And I'll tell you something too that's been quite interesting, kind of learning about all of this. You know, I had lowered the price on that little bear to $39 and left it at $39 for about a month. And then I was going through the other night and I thought, you know what, that's ridiculous. $39, that's a collectible bear. I upped it to $99 and it sold for $99.95. So, you know, there might be something to that. If you think you might have something too low, up the price and see what happens. All right, so then we have this Steel Panther shirt. Picked it up for $4.99. It sold for $35. This replica of a gas pump is where you put your liquor in it and it dispenses it. Picked that up for $4.99 at the local Goodwill. It sold for $29. Now you guys remember that Jane Woo purse that I had made a video about, a customer complaining about it, and she sent it back even though it was just a big old mess. I'll link that story in the description as well. That purse sold again, and this time it sold to somebody who appreciated it, and I got good feedback on it. So this particular purse, to that original lady, I had come off and sold it to her for, I believe, $90. So when I relisted this purse, I upped the price. I went back up to $120. It sold for $120. All right, so then we have Tupperware. These three little Tupperwares, paid $1 a piece for them, so I'm $3 in. They sold for $17.95. Then we have this vintage Hallmark card. It was a Meg card. It's just a single card. One card, doesn't come with an envelope or anything, just the card. Paid $1 for it. It sold for $22. We happened to see this nutcracker at the local Goodwill, and I almost did not grab it. I was just going to put it up, and even my husband was like, "What are you doing with that?" I said, I think that it's something. I think that we need to grab it. Anyway, picked it up for $3.99. That little nutcracker sold for $52. Next, we have the Journey into the Mystery with Loki and Thor. It is number 92. It's a comic book from that same comic book collection that I was telling you guys about, that I'm going to link the description, the link to the video in the description. That one sold for $45.50. That was an auction. Next is another auction from that same comic book collection that I got. This one is Amazing Spider-Man. I believe it was like number 3 in this series. It was the first time that Dr. Octopus made his introduction into the comic book series. Got it, of course, for free, and it sold for $1,035.10. Then we have this 1981 Garfield. It was a little PVC action figure. It's about this big. Picked it up for about $1.25 at a garage sale, and it sold for $14. Then we have Doctor Who. Picked these up from that same estate sale, that private estate sale that we went to. Picked it up, I'm going to guess, for about $3, and it sold for full price, $39.95. I'm always talking about Monster High dolls. If you see Monster High dolls, get them. Even the no-face ones are worth some money. Picked this Monster High dolls up for about $1, and they sold for $22. They were the no-face dolls. Next, we have this brass fan that we picked up at a thrift store in Texas, in a little town called Glen Rose. Shout out Glen Rose, Texas. And picked this fan up for $40, and it sold for $250. Buyer paid shipping. Next, we have this little, I think it's called Shillick Wolf. It's just a little toy. It's very, very important that when you look at these little plastic toys, always check the names. They have little names that are stamped along their legs or underneath on their little bellies. Always check those names, because a lot of these little plastic toys are worth some money. Paid 25 cents for this little guy, sold him for $13. Okay, so next we have the Big Eyes Tree Topper doll. Anyway, picked this little doll up. We're about $1 in. She sold for $22. You guys remember a couple of weeks ago, I did a video about the garage sale finds. And again, I'll link any of the videos that I'm referencing to. I'll link them in the description so you can have a chance to go look at them. These are the Nike Force One. I'm $10 in, sold them for $40. Then we have this heavy Afghan. It's a multicolored chevron. I'm about $10 in. I got this one at a thrift store, and it sold for $30. Now, last but not least, you guys also remember me talking about the Briar Horses. This is going to be the third Briar Horse from that collection that I purchased. I'm $3.99 in, and it sold for $89.95. Wow, so that's it, guys. That is it for what I have sold, or actually like the highlights. This is my journey into how my eBay business is just flourishing and what I'm learning. And you know, if you like this kind of content, subscribe.